Agree.
Yeah, liven up these meetings a little bit, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good morning. It's October 24th. This is the Water and Sewer Committee. Present today are Councilman Clunt and Councilman Schuyler, Water and Sewer Supervisor Mark Leibrick, Public Works Director Troy Kruger, City Attorney Paul Jensen, and I believe City Finance Officer Chandra Phillips will be joining us later. Gentlemen?
Well, budget-wise first, if you want to look at the budget sheets, water and sewer budgets are kind of hard to decipher at this time because the grant money is figured in. So it looks like he has a lot. Looks like he actually has a lot more money than he does. With the grant money out, I've got him at like 130 and 160 in water and sewers, what he's got left to spend for the year on my numbers. But not a whole lot. He's doing fine. Any questions from you guys on budget?
We are 81.2% of the way through the year.
81.2.
Yep. If you want to take a look at your categories, Troy, thank you for the revenues also.
How's our meters coming?
Right now we have about 400. Every time we get a chance, we're out there doing them. Whether it be a few in the afternoon, if we have an extra hour, the guys are out.
Putting new ones in.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll hit it hard here once we get all of our winterizing and stuff done.
When you say 400, do you mean 400 installed, Mark, or four?
Radios installed and
Gotcha.
I'll try to on Troy's report and give them how many we have to date.
Are we still getting them in on a regular basis, or are they just trickling in?
No, we've got
We got,
7 boxes down there.
yeah, we got a shipment on, we got a shipment about it was the 13th of, or the 12th of
September,
October.
October.
We got a shipment, I think there was six or seven cases on there, and there's 22 in a case.
Okay.
So that's the last time we received any. How many of those, out of those, how many do you have left?
We've got, well, right now we have a total, there's 4, 7, 8 boxes is what we have left right now. It was 27 to about
27 in a box?
27. And the way the guys have been doing it, they've been doing areas, they've got like from 7th Street, East 7th, South, and from Country Club, East, that section's done.
Okay.
Now they're kind of working on the outskirts around the tree streets and up around the old Chop Road, Ray's Hardware area.
Okay. So when you go in to put the radios in, do you have to go into the houses?
Some of them we do,
Okay.
if the meter heads are bad, we do.
Okay.
Otherwise, they can hook up.
Okay.
So the process with that is, I guess it's good for the public to hear it again too. I've had some questions about why we're coming around and doing this again. Our old system that was reading the meters depleted the battery life because it was waking them up too many times. So in not every case, when we go to a residence that we have to get in, the only time we do is if the head on the water meter is dead, the digital head is dead, the battery's been depleted, and we can't get a reading off it. In those cases, then we do have to go into the home, we have to replace the head of the meter, and then get the wires out so we can hook it to the radio. Best case scenario is the meter head is still fine. And they'll put a radio up in there, we're reprogramming everything, all the residential meters, anything that's 1 inch, 5/8, 3/4, we're reprogramming those meters to 1 gallon trips. And that works well with our census system because we can do so much more with that when it's at a 1 gallon trip, so we can actually utilize the system a lot better. We can flag accounts if it sees excessive water use, or we can give you to the gallon when somebody calls up and says, I want my meter read, we're moving out, or, whatever the case may be. We can read it to the gallon, and then they can bill off that. So, a lot of times the way the meters were, we had some meters that were actually 1,000 gallon trips when they first started this process, and what would happen there is you might go 30 days on a billing cycle, and it doesn't change. Your bill doesn't change. That's for some of these residents that are just like a single person in a home or something. And then the next billing cycle, it would look like you doubled your water usage. So this just gives a lot more accurate billing and a lot more accurate reading. So, and it allows us to use the census system and use all the options that are available with it when we go down to that 1 gallon trip. So they're doing that when they're at the house. They're reprogramming the meter right when they're there, and then putting the radio up.
There's been several occasions where in the mornings we pull it up on the computer, and it'll show that this one house has run so many gallons constantly throughout the night or day, 24 hours. And we'll call them people up, and there might be a leaky toilet. We catch it earlier now. It's helped people.
They're gonna know when you're taking long, hot showers, Justin.
That's right.
When did that go into effect on the water usage? Excessive?
As the new meters.
As the new meters are going?
Yep.
Okay.
Other than that, Mark's kind of got his projects wrapped up for the year. He's got, out of this budget, we don't have any more equipment purchases or large item purchases. It's just basically seeing the year out here. He does, however, have some information in front of you on a Vector. And you want to talk about your Vector truck, Mark?
You guys have asked me to see what it would cost to have this one totally refurbished. And I think Justin, you seen this last time. Jody, I think you were gone, Austin, but the way it looks, it's gonna come in just off the top of their heads without seeing this. It'd be about $190,000. Just the things they can think of. And then if they get it there, they estimated it's gonna be at least another $100,000 to $150,000 to do that. So you're looking at $340,000 to $350,000 to have this truck redone. And then he sent me some stuff. We got the updated version for the quote on the new one. I think it comes out to $491, was it 488 or 491?
Yeah, so I gave there's a quote laying in, I just printed it out once, Austin, but it's laying in front of Justin.
Well, I got these.
Well, this is,
491.
yep, same numbers, that's just a breakdown of it.
I got some more of those.
So I asked him to give it to us in everything's in Sourcewell that you're seeing there. So that we get the Sourcewell discount off it's like $15,000 off the total unit. But it's $491 with freight, that'd be delivered. That would be the price for that truck. And then I also asked him to break it down, and they did it in our other options for purchasing. The unit would be purchased outright at the full price. The other one would be a 5-year lease with $1 buyout, or a 7-year lease with $1 buyout at the end, which is basically just a Sourcewell loan. just so that you guys can see the different options. If you decide to go ahead and purchase the vehicle, those are basically the options that we could purchase it with.
Where's the is this the purchase price right now? This final source, well, is that financed outright, or is that,
Which one's
is
that?
that financing?
$491?
Yeah.
That's the total.
The $491, the $491,647, that's the truck put together with freight delivered. That would be our outright buyout price.
Because I did the math, and if we do the 5-year municipal lease or whatever they call it, with a dollar buyout, it's actually $562,000. And,
That'd be your total purchase price if you pay the interest.
you know, $71,000 in interest over 5 years. And the $488,000 one is $112,000 interest over 7 years. Which puts the price over $600,000 for the new ones.
Wasn't that the recommendation also from the auditor to not borrow as much if we got cash on hand to buy it outright? Jody?
It is the recommendation of our auditing company. We have a lot of cash on hand to not pay interest and buy these outright. You know, Troy and I have had discussions, though, when you spend that cash, that limits your flexibility on when any emergent situation comes up. And now, instead of having all that cash sitting there, you may get tied into an even higher APR. At 562, you can figure it out, you can work this APR backwards unless you have it handy. This is 5 payments at 112. It's up to you as a council, you know, to visit with your public works director, your supervisor, figure out, do we spend this and save that? It's gonna be 84, it's gonna be 570, almost 571,000, or 71,000 that you'll spend. You just do the quick math, 71,000,
14,000 a year.
yeah. So it's only about 1%, a little over that. It's really a good APR.
It's only 1% interest about.
14,000 a year. 2.8, you're looking at 2.8% that you're financing on this lease. You divide that to get by 12 to get your APR, and now I can break it down, it's 2.37%. It's pretty cheap to do it that way. But that's where you guys have to visit. Take a look at what's going on in the city. We know that we've got some trouble areas, and find out what the financing on that would be if we had to go dig and buy houses in that crisis area, or do we keep it on hand and have the money available and do the 5-year term? It's also looking at, with your finance officer, taking a look at our constitutional debt load, because leases are
Tied into those.
tied into it now.
Yes.
So we're good on the constitutional debt load. I can tell you that.
I'm not recommending, I'm not recommending, I just wanted you guys to see all the options.
Right.
You know, I'm fully aware that you're paying interest on the 5 and the 7 year. And I don't even know what Mark's cash on hand is in sewer. That's, I know it would take a big chunk out of it. I guess my bigger concern than that would be, until we get all these water meters installed, right now our revenues on the sewer and the water side are, we don't know what those numbers are going to be until we get that project completed. And I fully anticipate, I think we were at like 721,000, I think, a couple of years ago in water before we started having these meters go dead. And we'll get back to that number. I'm
Confident.
100% confident that we'll get back to that number. But that's, for the 2024 budget, we budgeted off of the revenues that what Sue's bringing in now, and that's what we have to go off of, and that would be one of my concerns, is that that number is pretty low.
Mhm. This quote is good for 45 days. Would this count against the 23 budget, the 24 budget?
That would be in this fiscal
It
year.
would be this fiscal year, because even if we wouldn't take possession,
It'd probably be 2025 before.
we'd get the vehicle.
Yeah.
When you take possessions, when it will hit.
Is what fiscal year runs into, or when you start paying on it.
Yeah, when you receive it and start making your first payment.
Okay.
So this, I will place this on the agenda for next Monday. And it will be a discussion item. At that point, if you have enough information to go forward, you as a council can take action. If you want more information, ask Mark beforehand, if you can get as much of that information beforehand.
One of the things that, and I'm not familiar enough with, obviously with Vector to know how they're doing this. I'm wondering, it appears that maybe they are source well for the main unit, but there's some configuring that has gone on beyond the source well price. If I'm reading that right, that causes us a problem, because if there's configuring beyond when it was source well priced, that basically throws the source well pricing out, if what I'm guessing is true. So we would need to look at that and see if, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's source well all the way through, in which case that would be wonderful, but I'm just guessing on there that it's an issue we may have to look at. What our auditors would tell you and what the state statute would say is, just under hypothetical, let's assume that the machine itself is all source well qualified as having gone through that process of establishing a bid value price of $100,000. But you've also got some add-ons for another $17,000. Well, the state statute doesn't look at them separately. They look at the whole machine and say, you got the whole machine coming with improvements above what was available under a source well bid, which means it kicks it out of source well and you're gonna have to bid the whole thing. So if I'm right, that would be the concern we'd have to look at. It may be that what I'm reading there is not that way.
I know there's some difference, but there is a little bit of difference. When you use source well, you do get a little bit of, like, we use Minnesota state bid sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a state bid is a state bid. When you buy that piece of equipment,
Yep.
you receive the way that thing was bid out. There's no fluctuation in it. There's no add-ons, there's no anything.
And if that's the case, then we're good.
Yeah. So I know, we have used Minnesota state bid, and the piece of equipment that we got came exactly the way it was bid out. You don't have the option of adding on
Yeah.
any kind of, any other, that's the way it was bid, that's the way Minnesota bids it. and that's the way you receive it. Sourcewell is a government discount, so to speak, like,
If the whole price of the entire unit is Sourcewell qualified, then you get the whole thing, you bet.
you guys have any other questions?
No.
So it'll be on there Monday.
You'll call them
Pardon me?
in 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we have the fifth week.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Do we need a fifth week right now? Yeah, we do.
You do, yep. Next week is,
No meeting
No committee meetings next week, so it will be,
the following Monday.
correct.
6th of Monday,
6th is
the
Monday.
7th,
November 6th.
see the 6th? I'm not looking at the calendar. Yeah, 6th. Oh, the day after daylight savings time ends.
Anything
Pick
else,
up an
Council? We pick up an hour?
Fall back. Go back an
I never have regained that hour.
hour. No, I never do either. I wish we could get rid of it.
24 hours in a day.
Correct.
Whether it's light or dark.
All right.
Troy, do you want me to give these back to you? Proposal summary? Do you want these back? No.